All right, hello everyone, and welcome. So, you're ready to jump into the club's digital net, and that's fantastic. This little guide is going to walk you through everything you need to know to get connected to the Grantham link. Let's dive right in.
So here's the big question, right? You've got this awesome new digital radio. Maybe it's DMR, maybe it's Fusion, or maybe D-Star. But how in the world do we get everyone talking together in the same virtual room? Well, that's exactly the puzzle we're going to solve today. So, here's our game plan. We'll start with a quick Digital Radio 101 to get on the same page. Then, we'll look at your connection options and get into the nitty-gritty of what our Grantham link actually is. After that, it's the practical stuff, getting your hotspot set up. And finally, we'll get you ready to say hello on the air. Let's go.
Okay, Section 1. Before we start plugging things in, let's just do a real quick refresher on what makes digital voice, well, digital.
You know, this really is the biggest difference you'll hear. With old-school analog FM, as the signal gets weaker, it just gets fizzier and fuzzier until it's lost in the noise. But digital, it's all or nothing. The audio is perfectly clear, and then bam, it just drops. That's the famous cliff effect. It's like a streaming video that's perfect 1 second and buffering the next. So why can't your buddy's DMR radio talk straight to your Fusion radio? Well, I love this analogy. Think of them like computer operating systems. A Windows PC, a Mac, and a Linux machine are all computers, right? But they all speak a slightly different language and don't play nice together right out of the box. Same idea here.
And each of these operating systems has its own sort of personality. DMR is super efficient. It cleverly splits a single frequency into 2 time slots, so you can have 2 separate conversations going on at once. Yaesu's Fusion is all about being user-friendly. It's pretty much plug and play. And D-Star, well, it was the pioneer, built by hams for hams, with some really powerful ways to route calls.
Okay, now that you know what language your radio is speaking, how do you actually get your signal out there and into the net? Let's look at the ways you can connect.
Really, there are 3 main ways to do it. You've got simplex, which is just radio to radio, nice and simple. Then there's the repeater, a big, high-powered radio that grabs your signal and sends it out far and wide, usually connecting to the internet. But the real star of our show today is the hotspot. That's your own little personal gateway, using your home Wi-Fi to connect you to the whole world.
So, with those basics covered, let's zoom in on our destination. What is the Grantham link? Think of it as our club's very own digital meeting room.
If you're using DMR, you'll hear the term talk group all the time. The best way to think of it is like a conference call. The network is the phone system, and dialing up a talk group number, like 853, is like dialing into a specific conference room where a particular conversation is happening.
Now for Fusion and D-Star, the concept is a little different. We use something called a reflector. It's just like it sounds. Your signal goes up to a server, hits this digital mirror, and gets reflected back out to everyone else who's pointed at the same mirror. It's worth pointing out that Yaesu has its own fantastic WiresX network, but it's a closed ecosystem. We use the open YSF reflector system, and that openness is the key to letting us connect with everyone.
So how do we get the DMR conference room talking to the Fusion mirror? This is where the magic happens. It's a piece of software called a bridge. It works behind the scenes on the Freestar network, acting like a real-time translator. It connects our Fusion reflector directly to our DMR talk group, so a person on a Yaesu radio can have a seamless conversation with someone on a DMR radio. It's pretty amazing.
So look, if you only remember one single thing from all this, let it be this number. For us, for the ClubNet, the Grantham link is DMR Talk Group 853. Everything we do points right here.
Okay, theory time is over. Let's get down to business. This section is all about the practical, step-by-step how-to for getting your hotspot set up and ready to go.
Just a quick heads up before we start clicking buttons. While you can use the local repeater, GB7GR, it's not always linked up for our net. So honestly, the most reliable, guaranteed way to get into the conversation every single time is by using your own personal hotspot.
So, for all you Yaesu Fusion users, this is going to be super straightforward. You're just going to log into your Pi-Star, flip on YSF mode, pick the right startup host from a list, and then connect with your radio. Let me show you exactly where those settings are.
Okay, so once you're logged into your Pi-Star, just scroll down a bit until you see MMDVM host configuration. See that little switch next to YSF mode? Just make sure that's flipped on and showing green. Simple as that. Then, don't forget to scroll down and hit Apply Changes.
Perfect. Now, right below that, you'll see the Yaesu System Fusion Configuration section. Go to the YSF Startup Host drop-down menu, and you're just going to look for our reflector in the list.
It's YSF2192, and it'll be labeled GB-G0GRC, Grantham League. Select that, hit apply again, and your hotspot is all set.
Now, for my DMR friends, it's just as easy. In Pi-Star, first, just double-check that your DMR master is set to Freestar_United Kingdom. The rest of the work happens in your radio's programming software, what we call a code plug. You just need to build a channel with these 3 magic settings: talk group 853, color code 1, and time slot 2.
And that's basically it. You're ready to get on the air. Let's do a super fast recap of the key settings so you have everything in one handy spot.
This is a good screen to pause on or take a quick photo of. For Fusion, the magic number is YSF Reflector 21982. For DMR, it's talk group 853. And for all our D-Star operators, the bridge isn't quite ready yet, but we are working on it, so please do stay tuned for updates on that.
When you boil it all down, it all leads to one place, talk group 853. Whether you're keying up on DMR or connecting through the bridged Fusion reflector, that's our digital home. We really can't wait to hear you on there.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you're all set up and ready to go, who's going to be your first contact on the net? Get on the air, throw your call sign out, and join the fun. We'll be listening for you. 73.